Level 1. Intelligence Gathering Operations. You start here in the shadows, running assets and SIGINT ops that most will never know about. Think recruiting a mid-level diplomat in East Berlin during the Cold War, or flying U-2 spy planes over the Soviet Union, or Project Shamrock, where we intercepted every telegram entering or leaving the United States.
You cultivate sources with cash, blackmail, or ideology, then extract every scrap of intel on missile programs or political fractures. You're learning secrets that men would kill to protect, and soon enough, you'll be the one doing the killing to keep them.
Level 2. Undercover Infiltration Operations. Now you're moving from the wires into the room, wearing a face and a life that doesn't belong to you. This is the realm of the NOC, non-official cover, where if you get caught, the State Department will look the other way while you're interrogated in a basement.
You go deeper, embedding officers or assets inside target organizations for years,
like the CIA's penetration of communist networks in Italy or Latin American unions in the 60s and 70s. You live the cover, feed disinformation back, and sabotage from within. Level 3. Political coups and regime change. This is the level where we stop watching history and start writing it with a heavy hand. When a foreign leader's sovereignty interferes with our bottom line, you're the one who arranges their retirement. Look at Operation Ajax in Iran or the 1954 coup in Guatemala. You aren't using an invading army. You're using bags of cash to fund spontaneous street protests and bribing military colonels to turn on their own commanders. You use propaganda machines to convince a population that their elected leader is a monster, creating enough domestic chaos that a friendly dictator looks like a savior.
Level 4. Arming rebels and proxy wars.
When a coup isn't enough, you escalate to fire and steel by turning a country into a slaughterhouse. You escalate by flooding weapons into insurgencies so Americans never have to die. Operation Cyclone in Afghanistan is the blueprint, where we funneled billions through the ISI to arm the Mujahideen against the Soviets. The blowback of creating future terrorists isn't your problem in this office. Your only concern is making sure the enemy bleeds out in a desert while we keep our uniforms clean. You run black logistics, training camps, and cutouts.
Level 5. Assassinations and targeted killings. Sometimes the problem is just one man, and you're tasked with the executive action required to make him a memory. Your hand reaches out with lethal precision. Early days featured poison pens and exploding cigars aimed at Castro, or backing the hit on Lumumba in Congo. Today, it's drones and special ops in the tribal areas. You weigh the intel, greenlight the strike, and accept collateral. It's a messy, intimate business that requires a total detachment from the concept of murder, reframing it instead as a necessary removal of a geopolitical obstacle. Level 6. Black sites and extraordinary rendition. When you need a target to talk and the Bill of Rights is getting in the way, you move them off the map entirely. You snatch a high-value target off a street in Milan or Kabul and put them on a ghost flight to a windowless room in a country that doesn't believe in the Geneva Convention.
Waterboarding, stress positions, sleep deprivation, all outsourced to keep it off American soil. The implication is pure. Rule of law becomes optional when national security whispers otherwise. Level 7. False flag and deception operations. At this level, you're orchestrating high-stakes theater where the props are real and the blood is fresh. You stage an attack, blame it on an enemy, and use the resulting public outrage to justify a war that was already planned. You manufacture reality itself. Proposed Operation Northwoods wanted fake Cuban attacks to justify invasion. Gulf of Tonkin incidents stretched truth to escalate Vietnam. You plant evidence, stage incidents, run influence ops through friendly media. Level 8. Domestic operations and mind control. The final line you cross is at home. MKUltra dosed unwitting Americans with LSD, probing mind control in safe houses across the country. COINTELPRO disrupted civil rights and anti-war groups with blackmail and provocateurs. Modern surveillance turns your own citizens into data points. You're experimenting on the vulnerable in the shadows of our own cities, seeking the Manchurian candidate or the perfect psychological trigger. This isn't about foreign threats. It's about the total domestic control of the human element.